Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here with your all stuff, no fluff news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about emulation on Android, specifically Wii U emulation on Android with Cemu, and someone here has Breath of the Wild up and running on an Exynos chip, and seemingly running very well. And speaking about PC games running on Android, next up here we're talking about Cyberpunk 2077, and someone's got Cyberpunk 2077 up and running at 60 frames per second on Android using a Snapdragon 8 Elite powered Red Magic Astra. Now it is worth noting here, this is with a Samsung Galaxy S24 and Cemu version 0.3. Taking a look, they've also posted their configuration, and I would say this is really good news for people without a Snapdragon CPU. Let me know your thoughts. Now, someone does point out and says it looks like it's using frame gen, and someone else says as long as it looks smooth, then it's okay. It's part of what you get buying Red Magic. And someone else makes a comment on input latency. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below. Is frame gen okay on Android given the fact that the 5090 relies on frame gen for the best possible graphics settings and FPS? Or do you think that it's a big problem here with input latency in general because Android devices generally have a bit of a problem with, for example, Bluetooth input latency? Now, in my opinion here, this is not necessarily the smoothest experience out there. I mean, when they move the camera around, you can see a little bit of screen tearing. If someone were looking at a setup like this, I'd probably recommend docking this thing and attaching a wired or maybe a 2.4 gigahertz wireless controller just for that reduced latency. And speaking about playing PC games on Android, next up here, someone has Red Dead Redemption 2 up and running with one big problem, and that's the temperature. They say here the problem is keeping the CPU under 100 degrees, and that is with a OnePlus 15 with a Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 and 16 gigs of RAM. So the person goes on to say here, with everything on low, it starts at 60 FPS, but after 5 minutes, it's starting to overheat. I tried limiting the FPS to 35, but it's still overheating and falling under 15 FPS. Without capping the FPS, it stays at 30, sometimes dropping under. Am I doing something wrong? Did anyone with this phone get different results? I would argue here the problem isn't necessarily with the emulator or the game, it's with the phone itself. Because the phone, well, this is not a OnePlus 15, but it's the same design here. There's no active cooling. The chip is overheating and there's no way for that chip to really reduce the heat. I mean, personally, and I don't know about you, but I think this is one of the reasons why gaming handhelds are becoming more and more popular, because a lot of them have built-in fans to help cool the device. And speaking about active versus passive cooling, next up here we're talking about Red Magic. Now, many people know that the latest Red Magic phones here, some of them do have water cooling in them. It's very interesting overall, as well as a fan to help reduce heat. Anyways, in terms of performance testing, it seems that Red Magic is king. So Notebook Check has a brand new article out there titled Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 Sweeps Antutu's First Flagship Phone Performance Chart of 2026. And in first place is the Red Magic 11 Pro Plus, and I am not at all surprised by that. Now, I do want to point out that this does not mean sustained performance, even though the Red Magic does have liquid cooling and a fan. At the same time here, the phone is in a very small form factor, and while pushing it could result in frame limiting. Just taking a look here as well, the OnePlus 15, which we just talked about in the previous segment, is in 8th place, so it's no slouch either. If you are interested in learning more about this one, feel free to check out the Notebook Check article, and like everything we talk about, links are within the GitHub link in the bottom of the description below. I don't hide my sources. And speaking about handhelds, next up here we're talking about Anbernic, and Anbernic has a lot of people talking about their brand new handhelds they've just unveiled. And you can probably guess why. You can probably guess what they're inspired by just based on the name or based on the device looks here. They've unveiled the RG Vita and the RG Vita Pro. Now, maybe these will play PS Vita games, maybe they won't. We don't know yet here because we don't know the specs. I'm hoping that they will. I'm hoping this isn't just a Vita-inspired device in name and look only, and maybe it's got the horsepower behind it to play Vita games as well. Now, unfortunately, we don't know a whole lot about these devices just yet, but knowing Anbernic, we're going to know a whole lot very shortly. I mean, they don't normally tease something like this and not say anything for months on end. I'm expecting more details within a week and maybe even sooner than that. But let me know your thoughts about the RG Vita and RG Vita Pro in the comments below. What do you think it's going to be powered by? What chipset? And how much do you think it's going to cost? And speaking about costs, segues are great today. Next up, we're talking about AMD and Microsoft and Xbox. And AMD, during an earnings call, unveiled that the next Xbox may release in 2027. Now, I've seen a number of reports out there stating that the next Xbox will come in 2027, and that is not guaranteed yet because there's no official statement from Microsoft yet. And wording is super important here. So the AMD CEO says that its development of Microsoft's next-gen Xbox SoCe is progressing well to support a launch in 2027. That doesn't mean the next Xbox is being launched in 2027, but the chip will be ready. We're going to have to wait to see what happens moving forward here, but I would argue to, just based on the current state of Xbox and hardware sales and all of that, 2027 may be a good year for them to launch a brand new console. Let me know your thoughts. And continuing to talk about projects launching and earnings reports, next up here we're talking about Take-Two and Grand Theft Auto 6. And Take-Two has just published their earnings report, and within it are still committed to a 2026 launch for Grand Theft Auto 6. So let me know your thoughts about that one in the comments below. Do you think GTA 6 will still release this year? It's also being reported that marketing is going to start increasing and start ramping up for GTA 6 in the summer. Not that it needs to. I mean, this game is being talked about left, right, and center. And on top of that, and I think this is a good note here, they've announced that there's no Gen AI for GTA 6, which I think is amazing for a game of this caliber. Also, let me know your thoughts about that. On top of that, it's been reported that GTA 5 has sold 225 million copies. And speaking about millions of copies, next up here, great segues today. Next up here, we're talking about Epic Games. So Epic Games has published their 2025 year-end review, and within it tells you how many games they gave away with their free giveaways. So before we get into it here, I'll unfreeze the water in the background. I just realized I froze it. And let me know your thoughts. Just guess. Type them in the comments below before I scroll down here. How many games do you think Epic gave away for free last year? Just how many people claimed free games, rather. Not how many games were given away for free, but how many games people claimed. And you may be surprised, you may not. The answer here is 662 million games. That's a lot of claims on free games. Now, I don't know about you, but I can say I did not spend a dime within the Epic Games Store last year, but I did claim some free games to add to my ever-growing, very good library that I really haven't paid a dime for. If you've claimed some free games, let me know your thoughts on this one, but let me know the number here, your thoughts on the number here. Do you think this is a lot or do you think it was more? Next up here is a quick heads up. If you're a fan of MLB, you might be excited about this new trailer here. There's a brand new trailer for MLB The Show 26. If you are interested in checking this one out, you know where the links are. And the only reason I'm talking about this one is because I realized how popular this game was after yesterday's video. On console, I believe this is in one of the top 10 lists. And speaking about positive news for games coming out, next up we're kind of talking about the exact opposite, and if you're a fan of the Outer Worlds, you're not going to be a fan of this news here. It's been reported that Obsidian have no plans for the Outer Worlds 3. If you're a fan of that series, this is probably not good news. Insider Gaming has you covered for more information on the matter, as well as an article in Bloomberg. But speaking about upcoming games, next up here we're talking about Xenoblade. And if you're a fan of that game series, so you might be excited about this news here. It may have just leaked that a brand new Xenoblade game is coming out in 2026. We're going to have to wait to see on this one, but Caitlin Thorburn may have accidentally leaked this by putting it in their profile here, and well, I'm wondering if it's still up or going to be taken down soon. Let me know your thoughts about this one if you're excited about potentially a brand new Xenoblade. And speaking about Nintendo stuff, not as great of a segue. Next up here, we're talking about physical versus digital sales, and I think this is exciting news. So we talked about Nintendo's financial report yesterday, but I didn't touch on this segment here. And that is physical versus digital sales, and it does seem to be close to a 50-50 split. To be honest, the physical sales is up a lot more than I thought it was going to be. I thought physical would be dwindling, especially with game keycards. But it does seem that Nintendo is selling about a 50-50 split between physical and digital, so there's still hope for physical games in the future of it. And continuing to talk about Nintendo stuff, next up we're talking about unofficial N64 PC ports in Super Mario 64 and Harbor Masters. If you weren't familiar with Ghost Ship, which is the unofficial PC port of Super Mario 64 by Harbor Masters, it might be something you want to learn about. Well, it just turns out that there's now the Android version of this that's just been released. So taking a look up on GitHub here, and this one is by Izzy2Lost, and all of the information does appear to be on GitHub. Next up here, we're switching from software to hardware and talking about some pretty significant discounts on a number of different devices here. Agnus is having like a 50% sale on a bunch of devices, including this 8BitDo Ultimate 3 Rare controller. So here's the official Agnus announcement. Yet more Amazon warehouse clear-out sale madness. 50% off discount on Amazon US. So it is limited to just Amazon US. The claim code is 50 Agnus with an extra S. And I'll post the claim code in the comments below if you wanted to check it out, and maybe I'll post an affiliate link as well, and if you wanted to help me out, click on it. If you don't, that's okay too. Just use the claim code for yourself. I'm not making any money off that part. Anyways, taking a look here, so 8BitDo Ultimate 3 mode, the rare 40th anniversary edition, the 8BitDo Pro 3, that's huge, the Ultimate 2 Bluetooth controller, and even more. There's stuff from Gillikit in here, MobaPad, and even more. Last up, we're shifting from hardware back to software and talking about Subnautica on mobile. If you're a fan of Subnautica, you might be excited about this news. If you're not a fan of Subnautica, you're probably not excited about this news. But last up here, we are talking about Subnautica Below Zero on mobile, both Android and iOS. They've just announced this game will be hitting both stores, Google Play and the App Store, on March 10th. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff, except the legendary one Fluff who's graced us with her appearance. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.